Well, the days began turning into weeks, and these weeks into months. And the Coastal Surveillance Force was making Operation Market Time pay off. The new division, number 13, arrived early in 1966. It was a happy occasion. Now Coast Guard 82-footers would be on patrol with the U.S. Navy and South Vietnamese vessels along the entire coastline, from the Cambodian border to the 17th parallel. By this time, a number of cutters had fought engagements with enemy vessels and had intercepted supplies and weapons being smuggled to the Viet Cong, many of them of communist Chinese origin. In fact, in the first year, we prevented 250 tons of equipment from getting into enemy hands. We were effectively cutting off the coastal and river routes into Viet Cong strongholds, and the communists were being forced to turn to land transport for their supplies. So we kept at it. Each cutter, 3 days out on patrol, and in for 1 day, 5 times over. Even when the weather was so lousy, we knew no one in his right mind, except us, of course, would be out at sea. Then, mercifully, we could come in to take that 5-day break before starting the cycle all over again.
Those breaks gave us a chance to unwind a little. Some of us hurried to undergo a bit of therapeutic treatment at the native bistros. Others would help raise the level of the economy by patronizing the native emporiums. Of course, all of us kept the local service establishments busy. Occasionally, some of us would even get to see something of this country we had come so far to help defend.
Often while we relaxed before the next round of patrols, maintenance crews back on the division mothership were busy keeping the 82-footers in shape. In just 1 year in Operation Market Time, we were giving the engines the equivalent of 8 years of peacetime use. But they could be overhauled right on the spot by the Navy and Coast Guard crew on the mothership and be ready to go once more in time for the next patrol.
Underway again, and we found ourselves helping the war effort in a number of ways. Our guns were sometimes called upon to support friendly forces ashore. The forward air-controlled aircraft could see the enemy. We couldn't. But we just kept firing, hitting the area where the spotter plane told us it would do the most good. Available to help South Vietnamese fighting teams into battle zones. But our main job was still searching for men and materials being smuggled to the enemy, and we kept at it day and night. This kind of duty meant we sometimes had to hold worship services underway. Sure, our altar was built out of ammo boxes, and our older boys weren't particularly dressed for the occasion, and only the few men not on watch could attend at any one time. But war's like that. We were sure God would understand. A spiritual lift like this was important to us all, because we knew that we might find ourselves right in the thick of a knockdown, drag-out fight with the enemy at any time.
Amen. Especially at night. Our radar would pinpoint something unusual. We'd close in and challenge the vessel. If they were up to some shenanigans, chances are they would reply with, "We could dish it out, so we'd let them have it right back."
In the first year of Operation Market Time, U.S. Coast Guard Squadron 1 destroyed or captured 22 enemy junks and 2 steel-hulled vessels without loss of a single cutter. Close to 100 Viet Cong were confirmed killed, wounded, or captured, in addition to many unconfirmed enemy casualties. More than 65,000 junks and sampans were boarded or inspected, and hundreds of suspects were apprehended and turned over to the Vietnamese government. And most important of all, the sea lanes along the South Vietnamese coast were effectively closed to the enemy. There's been a right fair share of heroes during Operation Market Time. South Vietnamese naval personnel and officers and men of the United States Coast Guard. Together they have braved the blistering fire of a fanatical enemy and stayed at their stations until the battle was won, all sharing danger in a joint effort to prove once and for all that aggression cannot and will not be allowed to persist. So the men of the United States Coast Guard continue their Operation Market Time patrols, teamed with the U.S. Navy, keeping the sea approaches to South Vietnam closed to enemy forces.
How many patrols has it been this month? 6? Or is it 7? 3 days at sea, 1 day in, over and over again, then 5 days off, then start it all over again. Oh, sure, it's monotonous. Sure, it beats us down to our socks. But let's face it, it's our job. Uh-oh, here comes another one. Here we go again.